Good.
All right. All right, I'm gonna call the October 11th East Hempfield Township Planning Commission to order. We'll begin with the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Second order of business is the approval of the September 13th, 2023 Planning Commission minutes.
I recommend approval of the minutes from September 13th, 2023.
All right, I have a motion by Mr. Boltby
Second.
and a second by Mr. Spangler and Mr. Caldas.
Oh,
Yeah.
What's taken up?
he can have it.
We'll give it to Dan. All right, we'll take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. Oh, and I'll also mention that this evening, Mr. Spangler will be a voting member of the Planning Commission. All right, our first and only action item is 227 Columbia Avenue, which is a revised final plan.
Hi, good evening, Brian Cooley with DC Gun Associates. Along with me tonight is Wilson Hershey, the owner of the property. So this is for 2727 Columbia Avenue, here for a revised final land development plan. If you recall, so Columbia Avenue is down on the southern end of the page. There's an access drive that comes back. Currently Industries off to the left here. This is the mobile home park here. So we were here a few months ago for final land development plan, which involved storage units in the back. There was an 8-unit apartment building here. And again, the proposed access drive with access to Columbia Avenue. Since that plan, there was a proposed 1,500 square foot storage building just off the existing access drive or proposed access drive. So this plan actually replaces that storage building with a 4-unit apartment. So the owners had success with renting the 8-unit apartment building. So the need for that with, the 4-unit apartment building, which would be right across the street. So there was a storage building with gravel out front that's being replaced with the building, with the 8-unit apartment building. And then there's 8 proposed parking spaces out front there. These will be just 1-bedroom apartments for this area. We are providing some landscaping just to screen against the adjacent residential development. We didn't have to have the landscaping before because of the storage building, but it is required now. There are 5 modifications they're requesting. 2 of those modifications were already approved as part of the previous project. We're requesting those again. That has to do with curb and sidewalk and road widening, mainly along Columbia Avenue. There was a deferred agreement that was recorded as part of the previous plan. The David Miller letter just indicates that approval that just moves forward. The other waiver was a modification of sidewalks along the proposed access drive. So in lieu of sidewalks on both sides of the access drive, again, as part of the previous approval, we're providing a 4-foot macadam walkway that runs right along the proposed access drive. So it won't be a separate like concrete sidewalk, but it'll be a 4-foot asphalt path. And that'll go all the way out to Columbia Avenue. The other modification is parking lot lighting. Again, this was requested with the previous submission. In lieu of providing 15-foot parking lights for this development, the previous modification request was just to put posts outside of each individual unit or along the sidewalk, some type of a baller light type situation, which provide a light for the parking spaces and walking into the units. So we're requesting modification again, not to provide like a 15-foot high light, and then just have lighting just along that parking or along the proposed unit coming in. And then the other modification is planning strip B. Again, this is a requirement because of the change in use from storage building to residential. So we are required to screen the proposed unit against the residential apartments. So there's a drainage easement that runs through here. That's taken a lot of off-site water from the mobile home park. But we were able to fit some plantings just to the south of that. And then just off in the back here, there are also some evergreen plantings as well, which will provide screening. In addition to that, the owner has put in an 8-foot opaque fence, which runs along the entire property. So it's actually like a chain link fence, but there's a black opaque screen against it. So it also provides another level of screening there. So those are modification requests. We do have the letter dated September 28th from the township engineer. Just a couple remaining minimal comments. All the technical items have been addressed. Does the planning commission have any questions for myself or for Mr. Hershey?
I have one question for Nate. Nate, the recommended action on the modifications, do we have to make mention to the continued deferral on the two separately from the other two? Two of them have deferrals that continue.
Yeah.
Typically, even the ones with deferrals, you've made the same motion that's listed there.
Yeah.
Or more comfortable, you can split it out.
I would just lump them all together. I mean,
Okay.
Dan, did you have any questions?
I don't have any questions.
Nate, did anybody online have any questions? I see Mr. Powell's on. Okay. All right, then, if the planning commission has no other questions, I'll look for a motion. We'll take action on the waivers modifications first.
I'll make a recommendation to approve the 4 modifications, 2 of them with the continued associated deferrals. And the other 2, just approval of the modification.
All right.
I'll second.
They have a motion by Mr. Bolte and a second by Mr. Spangler for a motion to recommend approval of modification requests 1 through 4, subject to all staff and engineering comments. All right, we'll take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. All right, I will entertain a motion for the recommendation for the final land development plan.
I'll make a recommendation to approve the revised final land development plan as prepared and submitted to the township in accordance with staff and engineering comments.
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Bolte and a second by Mr. Caldis for a motion to recommend approval of the revised final land development plan. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0, it is unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
you very much.
Appreciate it.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
All right, Nate, any old business?
There's none.
And I'm assuming everybody had a chance to look at the project report. Anybody have any questions about the project report?
Nope.
Is there any public comment?
Going on Zoom.
All right, with that, then we will adjourn the meeting. It is not a record,
That's gonna be hard to beat.
but
709 is still pretty good.
I'll take 9 minutes.
That's pretty good.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.
See you,
too.
Dan.
Have a good night. See you guys.
Yeah.
Hey, see ya. Go watch that game.
Have a good one. I mean, if you wanna have a look real fast, it only take a minute to. Let's do it here.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, no, bigger screen. Even here. And,